Hi everyone, this is Khushboo Chokshi and today we will be discussing about inland and foreign instrument that's covered in your Negotiable Instrument Act. So a lot of students have been complaining about not being able to understand the difference between an inland and a foreign instrument. While this has not been asked in the last attempt of CAFC, but in the November 20 exams of CA Inter, where Negotiable Instrument Act was part of Inter, it was asked as a 1 mark question for there were 5 questions, total of 5 mark question, 1 mark question each, whether it's an inland or a foreign instrument. So what we have done is we have simplified the inland and foreign instrument here, and this will help you understand whether an instrument is inland or foreign. And then we have certain examples which are put up here, including the November 20 question which was asked, so that you have a crisp and clear idea of what is an inland and a foreign instrument. If I want to make the paper difficult for CAFC, this is certainly something that I would want to put in my CAFC paper. So let's start and understand what's the difference between inland and foreign instrument. So when I say inland instrument, you have to remember that if it is drawn in India and, okay, when I say plus, it means and, it is made payable in India. If both the conditions are satisfied, it is drawn in Agra upon a person resident in Mumbai and it is made payable in Chennai. So here it is drawn in India and it is made payable in India, and hence it's called as an inland instrument. Second is if it is drawn in India and it is drawn upon a person resident in India. So if I have drawn an instrument in Bombay upon a person resident in Tamil Nadu and it is made payable in London, but it is drawn upon a person resident in India. So these two conditions are satisfied, then it will be called as a inland instrument. And the third one is saying that if I have drawn it in India and I have done made payable in India or drawn upon a person resident in India, any of these two conditions, plus I have endorsed it outside India. Only because I have endorsed it outside India does not make it a foreign instrument. It will still be called as an inland instrument. So even if endorsing has happened outside India, but it is drawn in India upon a person resident in India, or it is made payable in India and then it is endorsed outside India, then it will be called as an inland instrument only. Only by endorsing an instrument outside India, you will not call it as a foreign instrument. Are we clear on that? So you have to see whether any of these three conditions are satisfied. If it is satisfied, then it will be called as an inland instrument. Then coming to foreign instrument. Foreign instrument, if you understand inland instrument, foreign instrument is quite easy. What is it saying? That if it is drawn outside India, the first thing you have to check is whether it is drawn outside India. Yes, if it is drawn outside India, then even if it is drawn upon a person resident in India, outside India, made payable in India, outside India, doesn't matter, it will become a foreign instrument. Second, I am saying is that if it is not an inland instrument, so I check these three conditions. If these three conditions are not satisfied, it's not an inland instrument, then in that case, it will be called as a foreign instrument. Okay, so everything we have to just remember what an inland instrument is. What is an inland instrument? It is drawn in India. So the drawer is in India. The drawee, there are three conditions. First, the drawer is in India, the drawee is also in India. Then inland, drawer is in India, the payee is in India. Both of them are in India. Then again an inland instrument. Correct? So here anything that's not an inland instrument will be called as your foreign instrument. Is that clear? Okay. Now let's see some examples. What is it saying? That a promissory note made in Kolkata, payable in Mumbai. So it is made in India, payable in India. Hence, it's an inland instrument. Bill drawn in Varanasi upon a person resident in Jodhpur and payable in Singapore. But here we are having made in India upon a person resident in India. So we don't see whether it is payable in India or not. Two conditions satisfied, inland instrument. So it is coming here. Correct? Then a resident of Agra drew, or that is made a bill of exchange in Agra on B, a merchant in New York. So B is in New York. It is made upon a person resident in New York and B accepted the bill of exchange as payable in Delhi. So payable in India. So made by a person in India. Person is resident outside India upon a person resident, but it is made payable in India. So which one is satisfied? This. The first condition is satisfied, correct? So it will become an inland instrument. Yes. Then A resident of Mumbai, drew a bill of exchange in Mumbai on B, a merchant in Mathura. So both are in India and B accepted as payable in London. But the fact that it has been made in India upon a person resident in India, the condition number 2 is satisfied and hence it will be called as a inland instrument. Are we getting a hang of the thing? Yes. A promissory note made in Kolkata and endorsed in London, made payable in Mumbai. So, made in India, made payable in India. First condition satisfied. Endorsed in London, wherever outside India, doesn't matter. I said if it's an inland instrument which is endorsed outside India, it will not make it a foreign instrument. Only because there's London written, do not write foreign instrument. See, if it is endorsed, doesn't make it a foreign instrument. Now, interesting question. I have not written the answer here because I want you to think first. Which is not an inland instrument? First, promissory note made in India plus payable in India, drawn upon a person resident in India. Everything is in India. So, it's an inland instrument. It is asking what is not an inland instrument, correct? Second, so this is not the answer. Second is promissory note made in India, made payable in India. These two conditions are satisfied. You go to, this is the condition number 2 that we are talking about. So, condition 2 is satisfied. Now, whether it is upon resident outside India or in India doesn't matter. The fact that both the conditions are satisfied, it makes it a inland instrument. Third saying, made in India, payable outside India. Now it's saying payable outside India. So I have to see one more condition. What is the third condition I have to see, which is that whether it is drawn upon a person resident in India. Yes, it is. So if it is drawn upon a person resident in India, here it's a inland instrument. So this is also an inland instrument. Last is made in India, payable outside of India, plus drawn upon a person resident outside India. So, my second condition here, everything is outside India, and because it is outside India, it will be called as a foreign instrument. So, answer here will be answer D. Then next, this is a November 20 exam question that was asked in CA paper. Ram draws a bill of exchange in Delhi upon Shyam, a resident of Jaipur, and accepted to be payable in Thailand. So, made in India upon a person resident in India. Both the conditions are satisfied, so it will become a inland instrument. Next is Ram draws a bill of exchange in Mumbai upon Suresh, a resident of Australia. So, it is made in India upon a person resident outside India. Okay. Now, I have to see whether it's payable in India or not. That is the deciding factor, correct? So, it says and accepted to be payable in Chennai. So, because it's payable in Chennai, which is in India, then it makes it a inland instrument. Ajay draws a bill of exchange in California. So, now the bill of exchange has been drawn in California. What have we seen? If it is drawn outside India, it automatically makes it a foreign instrument. So, this will become, I don't have to read upon person resident in India, outside India, doesn't matter. It's a foreign instrument because it is made outside India. Then, Mukesh draws a bill of exchange in Lucknow, which is in India, upon Dinesh, a resident of China. So, upon the person resident outside India, accepted to be payable in China, payable also outside India. So, not an inland instrument, hence a foreign instrument, correct? Then, drawn in Delhi upon a merchant in Agra, payable in London. So, drawn in India upon a person resident in India. Two conditions are satisfied. So, we fall under this condition number 2. So, it will become an inland instrument. A bill drawn in Delhi upon a merchant in London. So, made in India upon a resident outside India. Okay. So, now I have to see whether it's payable in India or outside India. If it's payable in India, then it's an inland instrument. If it's payable outside India, then it will become a foreign instrument. Payable in Agra. Now, it's a inland instrument, correct? A bill drawn in Delhi upon a merchant in London. So drawn in India upon a person resident outside India, payable also outside India. Since it is payable also outside India, it's not a foreign, it's not an inland instrument, and because it's not an inland instrument, it is a foreign instrument. Yes. Then next, a bill drawn in London. It is drawn outside India, so it's a foreign instrument. A bill drawn in Delhi on a merchant in Agra but endorsed in London. So, drawn in India upon a person resident in India. Endorsement outside India does not matter at all. So, I will call it an inland instrument. A bill drawn in London. The fact that it is drawn in London, I will not even read the question further. It will be called as a foreign instrument. So, this is how you will understand whether it's an inland instrument or a foreign instrument. Very high chances of this being asked, considering they're making it very difficult for CAFC students to score in law. So it is something that can be asked in your examination. I hope you've understood. I'll be sharing the PDF of this particular file on the Telegram channel, so you can download it from there. The link is given in the description below. And if you have any questions or if you have any doubts, please feel free to write to me and I'll help you with that. Yeah. Thank you so much, and I hope the video was useful. Thank you so much.